Reporting the regional news, Anglia Television is about to make the news itself. This is the very last edition of About Anglia. But don't worry, we'll be back on Monday with not just one, but two completely new programmes for the east of England. So, let the countdown begin.
5 to transmission, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 on air.
Costing £3 million, Anglia's new and expanded news service is one of the biggest single projects of its kind ever undertaken by a regional television company. The shake-up follows extensive market research and means that from next week, 4.5 million viewers in the eastern counties will receive one of two totally separate but simultaneously transmitted local news services. For some years now, Anglia has been battling to reconcile the size of its ITV region, one of the biggest in Britain, covering some 9 counties, with growing audience demands for news programmes more directly targeted at communities as far apart and as diverse as Corby and Cromer, Southend and Stamford. The company's response is to split its local news coverage into 2 distinct halves and double the time available for local news to a total of 8 hours a week. That means that from Monday, 2 million viewers in the East Anglian counties of Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex and parts of Cambridgeshire will receive bulletins and news programmes dealing exclusively with issues relevant to them. At exactly the same time, the very different characteristics and needs of the 2.5 million people living in Northamptonshire, Bedfordshire, North Hertfordshire, North Buckinghamshire, South Lincolnshire and the rest of Cambridgeshire will be reflected in their own programmes. The 2 services, East and West, will each produce a total of 34 local news programmes, bulletins and weather forecasts every week, all of them broadcast at exactly the same time as now, and using the very latest electronic news gathering and presentation technology like these remote studio cameras.
We feel that the 2 halves of the Anglia region, East and West, are distinctly different areas with different interests and different sorts of communities. And we think now is the time to produce 2 distinctly different programmes which concentrate on the issues and the events which are close to the people in those 2 separate areas. We want people to identify much more closely with the programmes than perhaps they've been able to in the past, and we want to give a service which identifies closely with them.
Crucial to the operation are Anglia's regional news centres, 7 high-tech, high-street studios, providing what the company says is a unique news network operation unparalleled in Britain and one that ensures that no one in the east of England lives more than half an hour away from a live TV camera. The Anglia West service will bring together news centres in Peterborough, Northampton, Luton and Milton Keynes, while the Anglia East service will have its reporters and news crews based at Ipswich, Chelmsford and Norwich. The Cambridge News Centre will serve both halves of the region, as will the company's Westminster studio, whose political news coverage since the televising of Parliament has already been singled out for special praise by the Hansard Society. The majority of Anglia viewers will receive the service relevant to the area in which they live, but the transmitter signals overlap down the centre of the region, from Kings Lynn in the north to Harlow in the south, and in some parts of this overlap area, people may be able to tune to either East or West programmes. Local TV dealers can give advice on retuning aerials if that's necessary. Either way, with 36 journalists, 20 sound camera teams and 7 video editing suites, Anglia claims the technical and human resources made available to the new dual service are among the best in the country and, they say, more than capable of delivering a news service for the 90s in Britain's fastest growing economic region.
Stephen Chambers reporting, and from Monday I'll be joining him and a new face, Richard Swallow, to present the new Anglia West news. Meanwhile, Helen McDermott, Fenella Haddingham and John Francis will be doing the honours for Anglia News in the East. John, of course, will be here helping out on both sides, as all the sports boys. But that's about it for this, the last About Anglia. Have a good weekend, and East or West, don't forget to join us on Monday for Anglia News. From us all, for now, good night.